What's going on? How you doing? All right. I think we're good to go here. Awesome. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. For those of you that don't know, my name is Will Johnson. My website is uniteamericafirst.com. I have a lot to share with you and a very little time to show it all. Really. I mean, there's so much going on right now. I could spend 16 hours every day just talking about it and going through all of it and still won't get through all of it. Do you think there's a reason why they're bombarding us all with this insanity right now? Do you think that they're covering up something? Do you think that they're hiding something? Do you think that there's something that's going on that they don't want us to see? Maybe something like, Biden giving away our sovereignty, something like that. Could that possibly be happening? And all this is just a distraction, because we all know, I think we all can agree that Biden having these classified documents is really not going to lead to anything except for public opinion. Because the federal government is so corrupt, they're not going to do anything about it. At least I don't expect them to do anything about it. And then what's really interesting to me is that you have a lot. I mean, there's a lot, if not all of them, making excuses for Joe Biden for having these documents. See, they make the excuse for him having them, right? And he's VP, but President Trump, he can't have the docs. There's even some people that believe that President Trump never had the authority to declassify any documents. And he did, right? But there's people that believe that he couldn't even do this. There's no way that he could declassify documents. And they're believing this, and they're believing it because of the left, the liberal media. And they like the lies that they believe. They don't want to believe anything else because they like the way that lie feels. In Joe Biden's case, Joe Biden, he came out and said that President Trump, he was basically, I'm going to paraphrase here, he was negligent and, taking control or, being responsible with these documents. And they say they take the documents issue very seriously. That's what they keep constantly say. We take it very seriously, very seriously. And I've asked the question, so when did he start taking the documents seriously? Did he start taking the documents seriously just because they got caught? Or did they even really get caught? What is the whole plan behind this? Because the reason why I say that, because it's not the Republicans that's releasing this information. It's the Democrats. It's the Democrats. It's Biden's own camp that's saying, hey, Biden has docs. Why would they release that information? It's not that they're being transparent, because if they were being transparent, they would have said something back in November, on November 2nd, 22, when they found the documents the first time. Or just like this past Friday, they found more documents, and Karine Jean-Pierre went on there and said, okay, they're done finding documents. They're not going to look anymore for documents. And then after she said that, then more documents showed up. What do you think is going on? Do you think that this is all smoke and mirrors just to get us to pay attention to something else, get us to pay attention to these docs other than what they're actually doing? A lot of people believe that. I think it's just really personally, on a personal note, I think they're doing this because they want to do away with Biden. They're done with Biden. Biden has done so much damage, and they don't think that they're going to be able to recover. See, now, the midterm election, they had, certain things going on. Mitch McConnell was on their side. Mitch McConnell was helping them. But a lot of people see exactly what's happening. But they're talking about a different position. They're talking about a different seat. And the state of the country, no one wants what Biden has been doing. And everyone that says they want what Biden's doing, they really don't. They want Trump's America. They just want it without Trump. You understand what I'm telling you? Because everyone had jobs. The portfolio was looking great. The eggs and the milk wasn't going through the roof. It wasn't. But anyways, let me share this with you. Do you think that the Republicans are faking this outrage? Do you think the Republicans are making it all up? Do you think the Republicans are like, we're just, these documents really don't mean anything? But the Democrats kept saying that President Trump had committed a crime. But in this case, the Republicans are just making stuff up. They're faking their outrage. A reporter in the press corps asked Karine Jean-Pierre that very question because they're saying that Republicans are faking the outrage. And the American people have no reason to be outraged. Why not? This is total corruption in our faces. And you're talking about the adults in the room? It's most definitely not the Democrats. Listen to this.
White House says Republicans are faking outrage on this issue. Why shouldn't Americans be outraged about classified documents being found in the garage?
Look, and I think I'm very clear about this. We have answered questions on this at this podium. You've heard, as Phil was saying, twice from the president talk about this. He said that he didn't know, right? He said that he was surprised. He said that he takes classified information documents very, very seriously. We heard directly from the president on this issue.
Okay, so she's saying we heard directly from Biden directly on this issue as if Biden doesn't lie. You understand that? That's the way she's approaching this, as if Biden doesn't lie. Biden's been lying for the past 40 plus years. They've caught him multiple times in lies. Back in the day when the media used to actually be media journalists, you know, they used to do investigative journalism. They actually had a whole segment on Joe Biden talking about he did all of these wonderful things and come to find out he was lying. And he had actually admitted that he was lying. So she's going off as if he's telling the truth. He's not telling the truth at all. And then she also said that he did not know about the documents being there. Okay, so explain this one to me. Explain this to me. How do you label a folder personal and put the documents in it, but you don't know what the documents are? Someone please explain that to me. See, leftists, they can't register what I just said. It goes in there one ear and out the other ear. And I'm going to say it one more time. Joe Biden labeled one of these personal and then put a document in it. He labeled it personal and put a document in it. So if Joe Biden labels the vanilla folder or whatever folder it was personal and then the documents in it, how does he not know what's in it? Is anyone asking that question? Here, she straight up lies again. Listen to this one. You can't make it up.
On Friday, you stood here, though, and were asked about the documents issued in our account some 18 times. At that point, the president's lawyer had found 5 additional pages of classified documents. So did you not know on Friday that those documents had been found when you were at the podium, or are you being directed by someone to not be forthcoming in this issue?
Okay, now this is such a beautiful question. And for those of you that had a hard time hearing what the reporter was saying, the reporter asked Karine Jean-Pierre, are you being directed to lie, basically? Are you being directed to tell us one story when we all see the other story happening? That's exactly what she asked her. Are you being directed to lie to us? Did you know? Did you know about these other documents when you said that there are no more documents? Did you know at the time? Are you being directed to lie to us?
To not be coming on this issue.
I have been forthcoming from this podium. What I said yes to was what statement at the time that we all had. You all had the statement, and I was repeating what the council was sharing at that time. And so
we had a statement, so we knew what was in it. You also
exactly.
Did you not know?
I'm telling you, I just answered the question. I just said that I was repeating what information that we had at that time, right? That you all had. I was confirming from what the special counsel had provided to all of you, and that we as well from here. So just to be very, very clear. And look, I've also been very clear about being prudent from here. I was also being very clear about being consistent from here and not going beyond what's currently happening.
The only thing she's been consistent with is lying. She's consistently lying every single day. That's the only thing she's been consistent with. And of course, the reporters are actually calling her out on it, which is really kind of mind blowing. And you know what? All the reporters and all of these liberal media outlets, they all got duped. Because when the first set of documents showed up at the Penn Biden Center, they all jumped to the Biden crime family's defense. Every last one of them jumped to his defense, saying, well, there's only, less than a dozen documents. And these documents really aren't anything. And they gave them over to the National Archive. Nothing to see here. It's all the story's already over with. That was the very first time. Every last one of them got duped because more documents started popping up. More documents started popping up. They all got duped. Listen to this one with Karine Jean-Pierre.
Last week, you told us, I believe it was Phil, we all could assume, the American people could assume the searches were completing, all the documents had been recovered. On Saturday, the White House counsel's office said 5 additional classified documents had been found. It's safe to assume now all the documents have been recovered, all the official records, all the classified documents are back in the custody of the National Archives, or are more searches on the way to find out anything else there?
Look, I understand your question. We have addressed multiple questions from here. Multiple questions have been answered by the...
You see how she's deflecting? So Friday, she said that there were no more documents. Saturday, the White House came out and said that they found 5 more documents. Again, why is the White House releasing this information? All they're doing is hurting their guy, Sleepy Joe. Why would they release this information? Now, the most interesting thing about this clip is that he's asking her, did you know about the documents Friday? Did you know about it Friday? Listen to her response. She goes, well, I understand the question you're asking, and we answer all these questions up here, and we answer the questions. We talk about the questions, and we answer the questions. She's not even answering the question. She's only acknowledging that she understands the question, but she's like, I'm not going to answer the question. What in the world?
Have been covered, all the official records, all the classified documents are back in the custody of the National Archives, or more searches under to find out if there's anything else there?
Look, I understand your question. We have addressed multiple questions from here. Multiple questions have been answered by the president. I know that you all spent some of your colleagues, maybe you yourself, Zeke, was on the phone with my colleague for about 45 minutes, addressed a lot of your questions. I'm just going to continue to be prudent here. I'm going to let this ongoing review that is happening, this legal process that is happening, and let that process continue under the special counsel. I'm not going to comment from here.
Okay, so the question is not the fact that they're asking questions. The question is did you know Friday about the extra docs that they found Saturday? Supposedly found, they didn't find them. Probably they didn't find them Saturday. They released that they had more docs on Saturday. And the question is did she know Friday about the new docs? And my question is, did they find any more docs? I think they've gotten to the point to where when they find more docs, they say, okay, stop releasing the information that we found finding more docs. Okay, because we've already have enough docs that we found and there's already enough damage. You know that they're scrambling around. They're probably cursing, kicking stuff, going all left and right. You know, Biden, this is probably the only thing Biden is really paying attention to really recognize what is going on. Or does he? But this is such a damaging thing. And maybe possibly that they're releasing all this information because they want to go into the 2024 without Joe Biden. He's damaged goods. He's 100% damaged goods. And now they're even asking the questions about Hunter Biden having access to these files. Now, listen to this last one here with her, and then I'm not going to show her anymore, okay? Listen to this last one here with Karine Jean-Pierre. And watch her response after she gets this question. It's priceless.
6 times that turned out to be false. Are you sorry about that?
I'll see you tomorrow. Come talk. I'll see you tomorrow.
You see that? She goes, she said, the guy asked her, are you going to apologize? Are you sorry for lying to us? The media actually calling her out. Are you sorry for lying to us? And she walks away. Isn't that classic? She walks away because she got caught in the lies, calling them out, and the press corps calling her out on it. And I think the only reason why they're calling her out on it, just like I mentioned, is because they all was on the side of the Biden crime family, and it made all of them look stupid. It made them all look stupid. It made them all look like, hey, they blatantly, we already know that they're all one-sided. We all know that they're all left-leaning. They don't care about America. They really don't. They don't care about the truth. They get on their soapbox and they constantly lie to every single person that they can. We know that that's what they do. That's who they are. We know that's what they do. But they go in there and they lie all the time. And then now it's like the White House set them up, because they automatically jumped out there to protect them. And then all of a sudden they look bad for protecting the Biden crime family when the Biden crime family had more docs show up. What did Hunter Biden know about these docs? You mean to tell me 6 years that Hunter Biden's never been in the garage? And then on top of that, have y'all heard? And I didn't know. I admit it. I didn't know. But today I heard that the Secret Service at Joe Biden's residence, they had turned off the cameras because they said the cameras kept malfunctioning. The camera kept turning off. Hunter Biden supposedly was spending $49,000 to $50,000 a month. $49,000 to $50,000 a month to live there. $49,000 to $50,000 a month to live there. And you mean to tell me that they couldn't fix the security system? They couldn't fix the cameras? Isn't it interesting? So was Hunter Biden having these lavish parties, and was Joe Biden there too within the parties? I mean, I'm just asking the question here because they don't have no record of anybody showing up. They didn't take any logs. They didn't show any of that. Apparently, President Trump, he has logs of people who showing up. The cameras were working because remember the FBI wanted them to turn off the cameras in Mar-a-Lago, but the cameras at Joe Biden's residence, they're just not on. How convenient is that? And they didn't take any logs of anybody showing up? You can't make it up. You really can't. Now, the liberal media, they're starting, like I mentioned, I think they're at the point now to where they're going to push Biden out the door. They don't want Biden anymore. They don't want Joe Biden. They really don't. They're tired of Joe Biden because Joe Biden has really done so much damage, like I keep saying, and they're just going to move on. You even have Ilhan Omar saying that they're happy that they have a special counsel to look into this. Ilhan Omar, and you have even Adam Pencil-neck Schiff is basically going against Joe Biden. This is not good when you have Adam Schiff doing this. Listen to this.
I'm glad there is a special prosecutor that's been appointed to investigate. There's a prosecutor.
Classified documents are to be taken seriously. No one is above the law. So I'm glad to see the Justice Department doing its work.
Well, it's certainly embarrassing, right?
Here's Biden and his sweet 19.
Okay, let me stop it there. You see this one here? This is CNN talking about Joe Biden, and they're talking about the docs. And then listen to how the CNN Communist News Network starts talking about the boxes in the garage and how they're basically laughing at the whole situation. Listen to this. Listen to this. You can't make it up.
67 Stingray, but look on the back left there, if we can push in there. But that looks like that's worse than my garage. Worse than my garage. I mean, that's not where, I don't know exactly where the documents are in that garage. That does not look like what a secure location would be. By Biden's own standard, wasn't Biden totally responsible with classified information?
Hoping we'll keep a sense of symmetry about our analysis of these situations and a sense of proportion about the underlying offenses. There's some people who are trying to compare having government documents that no longer be in your possession to inciting a violent insurrection.
What House knew about this on November 2nd? Should this information be revealed earlier?
I think the administration will need to answer that question. I'm going to reserve judgment until they do. But I think it's important to point out that the Biden approach was very different in the sense that it looks, as far as I can tell, that it was inadvertent that these documents were in these locations.
We wonder if the Secret Service had records now. That's our next question, because he still had Secret Service protection. And you would assume Secret Service would vet people that would be allowed on the premise of dwelling for the President of the United States.
Well, I apologize. I just realized that it's kind of breaking up when playing the audio clips. I do apologize for that. But what he just said was that you would imagine that the Secret Service in the last clip, y'all, Adam Pencilneck Schiff is like, man, y'all, we need to look at all the evidence before we make a decision or a public announcement on what we think is going on here. Adam Schiff. But he didn't do that with President Trump. Remember, Adam Schiff lied about the transcript. He did a whole parody, what he was calling it, on the transcript, basically lying, 100% lying. And we're supposed to just all look the other way now. Or we're all supposed to just let's see what the evidence shows. They didn't do that with President Trump. They didn't give President Trump the same courtesy. They did not. And then the last gentleman was talking about how the Secret Service should have had records themselves of who showed up. Did the Secret Service keep records? Because apparently Joe Biden, they didn't keep any records of who showed up at his residence, had access to these files. None of them did. So did the Secret Service? And that's a valid question. And they said the Secret Service actually turned off the cameras. Did the Secret Service actually turn off the cameras? Because if the Secret Service turned off the cameras and they didn't even get them fixed, why not? Why not? Are you telling me that Joe Biden cannot afford to fix the camera system? I don't necessarily believe that. I don't believe it at all, to be honest with you. I think that they turned those cameras off because they were having these lavish, probably underage, disgusting, repulsive parties. That's just my opinion. I wasn't there. I don't know. But there was some reason why they didn't even fix the cameras. And how long the cameras been down? All right. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm not blaming the platforms. I'm not blaming social media at all. There's something going on with my system here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I apologize for the hiccups here. If I can get my system working, I may come back on. But if not, God bless. Reality check.